How do we teach kids to know the difference between right from wrong? Well, this tape measure might just solve the mystery. Have you noticed how often we humans measure things? A ruler for length, a measuring cup for volume, thermometer for temperature, even a thermometer for donations, a compass, a clock, a calendar, a calculator, a bathroom scale, and sometimes, my friends, a banana for scale. But we need a way to measure right from wrong. It was morning time, Sunday. The kids were coming into class. Everybody was pretty much seated. Suddenly, Wilson comes running in. Hide me, hide me. Wilson, what's wrong? Oh, great, another problem from Wilson. And he says, this is what he says. I was walking down the block and there was all these grapefruit hanging on a farmer's tree. And so I took them. And then he started chasing me down the block. You got to hide me. Okay, Wilson, sit down. We'll take care of this after the class. Well, about a minute later, in comes the pastor. Where's that kid, that little skunk? I'll get him, No, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was pretty bad. So what happened was the pastor had been driving into the parking lot when all of a sudden his windshield got plastered with a whole bunch of grapefruit. Oh, Wilson, now there's a kid who needed to know right from wrong. So let's talk about the object lesson. Show your kids one or more of the measuring devices we've mentioned before. In your own words, talk about measuring things leading up to a question to ask. How do we measure what's right and what's wrong? Well, show your Bible and say something like this. What do you guys think? Is there a way to measure right and wrong? And you know the answer instantly, don't you? It's the Bible. The Bible tells us what's right and what's wrong. God set the rules of right and wrong. The Bible tells us what those rules are. And get this, Jesus demonstrated those rules by living them out perfectly. Jesus, therefore, is the standard, the measurement by which we measure right and wrong. He lives completely within God's rules. The more we do things His way, the more we choose to go His way, the more we are choosing right over wrong. It's a great object lesson, real simple. But there's a problem you might want to think through. How many of our kids actually read the Bible? How many know what it says about right and wrong? Well, I guess you could say this is what your Sunday school or your youth group is actually for. But you know what? That's not really true. It's the parents who are to raise godly kids who choose to do things pleasing to the Lord. And this means that you're not a replacement for parents. You are a resource for the parents. The parents are the most important factor in all of this. This is why, in my opinion, your ministry becomes its most successful when you focus on kids and on their parents. Work with the parents. Get involved with them. Make yourself available to them. You might have to disciple some of those parents all the way from ground zero on up, but isn't that the right thing to do? As almost always, we have a free lesson plan with all the details. This time there are 2 learning activities for the kids, one for the younger guys and one for the older. The younger kids get bananas. Tape some of the copies up a wall to measure the kids' heights. Or cut the bananas out and let the kids figure out how many bananas long a table is, or what have you. For the older kids, there's this really fun activity called Let's Vote. Your class is voting to choose the most popular Bible verse from 6 verses about choosing to do right. Now, with this particular page, class members can vote individually or in small groups. Or you can trim and tape these 4 pages together to form a large poster, large enough for the class to vote as one. The details are on the pages. There's also a get out of your chair activity for extra fun. Now, if you liked this object lesson, let me know in the comments below. I recommend you watch this one next, and I will see you over there. Bye.